11-page stories.
Written through L.T. Zupan. Read by L.T. Zupan.
Story number 15. The Solid Gold Velveeta Rabbit. 1. Once upon a fucking time, there was a fucking bunny made out of cheese. Motherfuckers, it was specifically Velveeta cheese. This goddamn bunny is now known as the Solid Gold Velveeta Rabbit. It's like the Velveteen Rabbit, except it's a bunny rabbit made out of damn cheese. So this Velveeta Rabbit was sitting on his sofa, which is really just a big fucking rock, in his ancient cave house. He was with his best friend, a teenage trailer trash girl named Electronica Crystal Mercedes. She was a nice girl, and unlike some people, she herself actually had absolutely no issue with the phrase trailer trash. Even though she didn't even live in a trailer, she lived in a goddamn cave with a little cheesy rabbit. 2. Well, so, it had been a lazy day for the two of them. They lived in western Maine, and it was cozy and warm in July now. Right now, to be exact, the TV was playing, and they were watching yet another one of those fucking reboots. Because the imagination computer of the populace was broken beyond repair. All you could do at that point was try to reboot it, supposedly, because everyone is too fucking lazy and uncourageous to do anything else. The sexy, stagnant ninja football reboot broadcast was then interrupted by a news bulletin about Sadie Oscarovich. Sadie was the first female Catholic-ass pope, and she had just given a dissertation, or thesis, that had raised a lot of eyebrows, inevitably. The Therionic Sadie had been on a journey of self-discovery all of her full life, and now she was saying she knew her true purpose: to warn the Smurfs and Edgar Casey against the evils of scuba pornography tuba metaphors. Because Jesus Christ is against scuba pornography. Underwater sin will send you to the underworld, Hades, and I quote. Electronica Crystal Mercedes and the Solid Gold Velveeta Rabbit were flat out incensed when they witnessed all of this madness on the telly. They looked at each other and they both knew it was time to go to war. Symbolic ass war. 3 The Velveeta Rabbit twitched its crazy cheesy nose a lot. It had Velveeta whiskers too. Its rabbit's legs and paws were creamy, golden, and fuzzy. Female cheese rabbits found this bunny attractive, and sometimes they tried to get a little sexual, you know. But not because they were only thinking about reproduction. They were also thinking about sexual pleasure, because sometimes sex feels good, even for rabbits. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. So now they had left their gnarly, lovable cave place, and they were on a journey through Back Meadow and Lark, heading towards the Fox TV news. It was time to fight back. Time to no longer just sit there and symbolically fucking take it. Hey, Electronica had a 50-cent strawberry fruit pie, and it was warm and flavorful from the toasty afternoon sun. The very many chunks of strawberries had marinated in a nasty, delicious, syrupy sauce for months. It was crusty and aging, like a grotesquely delicate fine wine. When Electronica cracked open the fruit pie for the first time, its syrup glistened in the bold sunlight. The flavor of the fruit pie in her stomach was bold, too. And clumpy. Real clumpy, y'all. 4 They trolloped gradual, still further, through stone, glade, and wharf. A small wolf spider crossed their path. Electronica took out her trusted, rusty rifle and destroyed the harmless little spider. It never even stood a dang chance. I hate spiders. 5 Sometimes the Solid Gold Cheese Velveeta Bunny Rabbit got real gothic. Gothic as hell. Because sometimes that was just how Velveeta was feeling. But now was not one of those moments. Now it was time for something much more important. Or as the Portuguese Indians say, importante. The leader of the Fox News tribe interrogated them when they walked into the Anchor News desk. And just who the fuck are you motherfuckers? smiling. We are the psychic smurfologists, and this is the fucking solid gold Velveeta rabbit, bitches. I think you better ask somebody. John, put these characters on now, while there's still time left for any of us. Everyone was shocked. They scurried and set up the mics real fast. Electronica cleared her throat, and just like that, they were live on air with millions of people watching, as stupid as that is. I would like to start by quoting the Bible says in Genesis, God is a transgender. So yeah, take that, you fucking fucks. A cheese bunny, by the beautiful name of Velveeta, backed her up by simply stating, the number of the best is 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. And furthermore, God hates figs, even though figs really aren't too shabby. Electronica added. The velveeta one then snatched the mic, I guess, and said, look, I'm just going to level with you. I've seen them scuba pornos, and look, okay, they aren't even fucking sexually arousing, okay? It's better than tentacle porn, you stupid pope. Electronica spoke, with a know-it-all tone of voice. It's better than tentacle porn. I don't know a lot, you stir-fried bastard of a pope, but I do know that. And she got very sad and hungry. She hadn't even eaten any food for 3.5 hours before. All this talk of figs was understandably disheartening. 6 dash dash dash. Edgar Casey and the Smurfs had a temp apartment in the Vatican City condos in Jersey. They had invited a lot of symbolic gangsters and kittens over, and they were drafting a speech for a planned protest/responsorial oration. It was Brainiac Smurf's genius idea to try and bring race into the equation. That way they could hit 2 birds in the head with some rocks for no reason. Suicidal Smurf was on board, so that's good. Electronica and Velveeta messaged them from the front door, whatever the fuck that means, and they were let in to be greeted comfortably. Hours fomented and slagged on by. Life was becoming of stale Cheerios, sweat, and indecipherable brigades of stocks, minty mini escargot, bonds. Mama Smurf took the stand at the protest. Fucking finally. Most of you don't know me. I'm always the Smurf you don't see. And that's because I'm black. In the 1970s AD, many US TV networks were actually rather racist. And there's the fact that I'm a woman. And that is why my name is Mama Smurf. And I'm named Mama Smurf. But I'm not here to talk about me. I'm here to talk about how there's never been an African pope, among many other things. Okay, I've got this fucking cheesy bunny over here. Maybe you don't believe me. That makes me emotionally angry. If anyone under the age of 18, but over the age of 15 or 16, reading this just goes and watches some scuba porno right now, it really isn't hard to find. You can see that race is nearly meaningless underwater, depending on the camera, because if it's a shitty waterproof camera, you can't even tell if she's Asian American or not. I think Hades Sadie needs to acknowledge that there is a mask you have to wear for deep sea scuba diving porno. A mask on exponential amounts of levels, and that mask covers a lot of the human face. No offense, Velveeta, but it really does. I think a lot of white popes could pay a little more attention to detail in the future, in general. And in return, I'm totally positive that anyone who is both senile and over the age of 85 would be more than willing to pay a little more taxes, as long as there was a slight increase in annual Social Security payments for everybody. The crowd cheered and shit. Racism is stupid. So is obsession with money. 7 dash dash dash. Velveeta said to Edgar Casey, should I change my name to Money Bunny? Shut the fuck up. I'm so psychic. God. I'm like one of the most psychic people ever. It's very crazy. Fine, Velveeta said, pouty and frowning. So what should we do next then, Grandmaster asshole? You'll see. Okay, I think what should happen next is we turn on the TV and listen to Sadie Oskovich, the jerk pope, and her next installment of BS. Electronica turned on the boob tube, and sure enough, Sadie was giving her stupid little follow-up address. No one was surprised at all. Edgar's abilities were never a letdown. Sadie opened her mouth and spoke. Okay, to goddamn begin with. I would like everyone to know that this is not merely a follow-up address. It is also a challenge. Now, I've heard what Mama Smurf fucking said about me. I heard all of that shit. I don't like it one bit. Not even a little bitch. I know she is part of a larger group of miscreants and cronies, and that's fine, but I really couldn't care less about that. I'm the Catholic Pope. I can get all the pussy I want, you know. I don't think you really understand. So the point is, right now I'm solely after the solid gold Velveeta rabbit. Fuck Electronica, fuck Edgar, and fuck all the rest of them for all I fucking care. I'm the goddamn Pope. Mm-hmm, Edgar muttered. Saw that coming, obviously. 8 dash dash dash. We need battalions of symbolic dolphins, Electronica thought. She wished she wasn't on her stupid period. No, we don't, Velveeta responded. I'd like to bomb that fucking Pope, bitch Smurf added. 9 dash dash dash. The scene was serene, the place was plush, yet it reeked of interestianity. It was outside, somewhere in the foothills of the Rockies, and everyone had their lawn chairs set up. They had a few of Electronica's trusty, rusty rifles, and they were practicing their target practice. Velveeta managed barely to pick up a few semi-crumply light beer cans and sort of hopped a little over to the stumps 14 yards in front of the chairs. Little nuggets of cheese crumbles were left at each paw print on the ground as he did hop, 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 hop. When Velveeta arrived at the stumps, he perched on his two hind legs and carefully set the aluminum cans on the surface of the small tree stumps, one by one. Electronica and company waited patiently for this, rifles ready. Lurking behind them, in the little fucking bushes, was an unknown and malign visitor. One that had the darkest, most vile and evil of symbolic intentions. This person was, of course, Pope Sadie Oscarovich. She was imprinted in full regalia. Now, normally, Sadie would have had at least 13 of her cardinal cronies with her, but today was different. Nearly 2 weeks prior, most of the highest level of the Vatican, 17 people to be exact, had planned to molest a lot of kids. Of course, this was a standard and horrid transgression for contemporary Catholic cardinals. Yet on this particular occasion, it just so happens the 19 kids they had planned to rape had had some sinister plans of their own to administer. They were gonna pull a fucking Columbine, motherfuckers. So the result, obviously, was a lot of everybody killing and raping everybody else. Suffice it to say, it was pretty fucking retarded, no homo. So Sadie only had 4 people on her crew that day, when she jumped out of the bushes and attempted to enact her deviance. 10 dash dash dash. Sadie and her 4 cardinal crew were then positioned between the 10-can targets and their targeteers, whom consisted of Electronica Crystal Mercedes, Bitch Smurf, Edgar Casey, and the solid gold Velveeta fucking cheesy bunny fucking rabbit. Sadie showed no symbolic fear. Her plan was to unleash a K-pop dance-off, and that, my so-called friends, was exactly what she fucking did. Cardinal Pete was the one who had the boombox. He made the crucial mistake of unleashing the epic Gangnam style for Pope Oscarovich for the starting round of her breakdance moves. Sadie really couldn't handle it. Palpable training had not prepared her for the likes of Psy. She began to do what you stupid readers could maybe barely understand as de-evolve, as she karate chopped the air a lot. Hey, Electroni shouted. Electroni is just short for Electronica. That's not symbolic. And she won the dance-off. 11 dash dash dash. But what you don't realize is that the real symbolic battle was actually just beginning to brew. Bitch Smurf was in the midst of an important pondering. For fucking starters, Bitch Smurf had chosen his name, unlike the other goddamn Smurfs, whom were simply born with their names. Because he thought everyone else was bitches, which honestly is a fairly fucked up train of thought, let's just face it. But at least he never used the phrase full-throated, unless addressing the very many cliques of little hot female Smurf bitchesses, whom he was rarely fond of banging them. Anyway, he was in a committed, monogamous, mongoose, assish relationship now, so there's that. Secondarily, Bitch Smurf was highly aware of the obvious fundamental truth of everything, seriously, that love is the most important thing ever. But with that said, he pondered. He contemplated how there were oh so many immature people in the world, which is a reflection of a certain kind of a blatant accuracy. Now that has all been established, he thought about how nearly everyone who wasn't immature continually hid. They hid for the wrong reasons, and were sober. They knew it was for the wrong reasons, and they hid that very knowing from any form of publicity. And this was perhaps the most controversial topic at all. What a different world it would be if people did not behave in these arrays of ways. But you can't talk about that and have what you try to communicate addressed. Nope. That would severely thrash an omnipresent bullshit house of glass cards sand. What did they all hide from anyways? The truth of what felt better than what felt worse, etc., etc. And why hide? Because it would threaten you and then you would overcome that. But no. Let's all behave like little bitches instead. I hate men. I love women. 12 dash dash dash. A metaphorical satanic asteroid was headed for Neptune. Again. Electronica Mercedes and the Velveeta Cheese Rabbit turned off the optical quantum glissade screen satellite cable TV because they weren't undulaterally capable of giving a fuck's sake less. Because they had just finished paying a stupid little visit to the home of the family of the incestuous Smurfs household. After borgasming the minutes away, they thought the word stupid may, one day, not too soon, become ipso facto controversial. Oh, what a lame day that could be. Everything was beginning to feel like a sad departure. Sometimes people try to pick on Eminem, but I think the violence he hesitates sometimes to resort to is too snugglily for people to fucking contend with. Wow, that wasn't quite what I wanted to say. Big surprise. And much true respect to Marshall, as usual. Everything changes, or so they say. 13 dash dash dash. Electronica muttered in her double wide. The astroturf blanketed the whole damn place. It was like an episode out of the Twilight Zone. A solemn and sullen Voltron action figure was presiding over an etheric, emotional portal. Music in the background was playing from different instruments, sound expressing the sadness cleverly masked by the funny tones of the Angel of Snickery Tulip. Ellie was crouched down on the floor, picking apart little red, half-corroded metal and plastic pieces from one of the Voltron's forearms. Somehow this was helping her dig further into the all-important vorticallianescence. Her focus was complete and total. Nothing existed other than purpose, least of all herself. The Velveeta Rabbit knocked at the door. He had some hangers-ons with him. One glance after she opened the door, and she knew they had pressurized their way into his subtle, inimitable, and cheesy company. She willingly and without care broke her former trance, showing them in. The S.G. Velveeta quickly separated himself from the other inconsiderate monkeys, placed his body near the sofa, and curled up on the ground. The others with him really were very immature. It was often endearing, but not so much today. Today it seemed a little disgusting. The restless and always outward-reaching frenetic nature of growth spun through a bipedal creature of a person, even sometimes a bipedal creature of a child, really could get old, not to be punny. And so, quickly, we see ourselves being what we judge, and I ultimately see my gratitude for being alongside bitch Smurfs. Proceeded Ali, stated awareness of the obvious truth that love is the most important thing forever. 14 dash dash dash. I finished early. Sorry. The solid gold Velveeta cheesy rabbit was addressing Mr. Edgar Casey. Okay, Ed replied. So I guess we still have a few pages to kill then. Yes, go on. But speak in a fashion that chews up as much paper and or time as possible. Like, use full titles for people's names and stuff. And dialogue is always great because that just tears through pages on the computer, digital pages. I think someone has probably called them light pages somewhere. But hey, this isn't the self-aware, controversial comedy sci-fi piece. Edgar continued. So what's up then, my little bunny friend? Made from thick, cheesy, delicious velveeta cheese. When I'm around you, I never want for shells. Figuratively, what would you ask of me? In this situation of which we are here, playing a part. Would you give me a tarot card reading? It doesn't have to be tarot, Ed, but some kind of divining. I think there are so few as suited as you. Well, we both know that. But you already know that we both know that. That's probably why it's true. And we both know her with a capital H. Yes, we do. A very long pause. Okay, sure, why not? And Edgar walked out of the room to return later. 15 dash dash dash. People who can't handle a little secondhand smoke in a well-ventilated room are fucking idiots. Because lying to yourself is fucking stupid. Nothing needs to grow up. 16 dash dash dash. So anyways, they were sitting together in a foolishly stoic room, rouletted of many medium to darker woodings provided by this world. Edgar had his carved bone, Sherlock pipe a-smokin', kind of like Jung. He shuffled his pet deck he had nicknamed Mortal A Coil. When he finished shuffling his mortal coil off, he placed all 2 cards of the reading, face down, on the coffee table between the cheesy rabbit and himself, equidistant. One of the things that was magical about this deck was that its cards' innards could, and frequently did, change to suit their reader. He looked slowly up at the cheese bun and lifted up the first card. A trance befell him, and he placed the first card back down on the table, face up, for all to see. 17 dash dash dash. This card is titled The 2 of Cheesy Cups. He paused as if to note the severity of his coming words, aka love. He continued, well, cheesy love, to be precisioned. Okay, the fucking rabbit of cheese interrupted. I see. Don't interrupt, motherfucker. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. A very long pause. So, this card speaks simply at first of love, and specifically of lovers. Both of them getting what they want and have wished for, and really just enjoying the love that they have finally found together. Another lengthy pause. Yet beyond that, you are instructed to look beyond your own knowing of yourself. And a final pause. You see, I know you are just a fucking Velveeta cheesy rabbit, albeit a solid golden one. Never mind that I have learned the hard way how it is barely acceptable to state this entitlement descriptor on a helipad. What you do need to do is concern yourself, perhaps, with the concept of Kraft's cheesy spirals. No one ever debates about a caduceus made out of cheese. Okay? Okay? Don't fucking interrupt. I done told you, I'm Edgar fucking Casey. Now do you want this stupid fucking reading or not, you Velveeta ass bitch? A bonus pause. Okay. Ed Wind continued. Sorry, no offense. It's just that this is crazily important. So anyhow, on to the final cheese card. He flipped the final cheese card fast. This card made the kind old man grin. For a moment the pain of everyone's distant ignorance no longer troubled the tired old man's windy and silvery soul. It was analogous to the effects of a genius wasp with a really sizable stun gun. You all, underneath it all, are mainly courteous, pleasing, decent, and fair. You already know this is basically the way and the path. This card affirms that. Also included is a little reminder of how you can alter what manifests directly during the phase of its discovery. This, of course, applies to your obnoxious kind writer as well. There is one more encapsulation, or you could call it a friendly fucking reminder. Insert angry frowny emoji. There is a cheese wellspring coming directly to you, in the best of ways. It will be so insane. It will be like nothing that has ever been before itself. The closest visual that fits in the scape parameters of our reality here is that of a damn thick, gold and velvet tea, cheesy waterfall. Yes, a cheese fall. But what makes this thing different is that it is literally coming up from the ground. A veritable huge gourmet nacho cheese geyser. And sir, and madams, let me tell you that dang cheese is hot and cheesy. So don't you worry. 18 dash dash dash. Electronica and the solid gold Velveeta rabbit had thus returned from whence they had started, sitting around their ancient cave on rock furniture, watching mediocre TV. Contained in the DNA of Velveeta's tasty-ass cheese are the perceptibilities of enumeration. Pumping like a clock far past its time. Still, Kraft's spiral macaroni and cheese, made with a cheese packet from a box of the cheesiest, tastes terrific, like the beauty of a teenage girl's well-kempt asshole. Life is not a fucking joke, bitches. So there's that.